Well, hi.
Hello.
Long time no see.
Yes.
Well, everyone, thanks for joining us. This is Run in Her Shoes podcast. I'm Amber.
I'm Robyn.
Well, we are going to talk about balancing life, work, and running with the emphasis on running.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how's your week?
Just busy.
Yeah.
You know, wrestling.
Boys are in wrestling.
Yeah.
It takes up a lot of extra time.
Yeah.
Our Saturdays are going to be consumed with wrestling matches.
I know. Jack came home really excited to tell me about a birthday party next week. And it was like, oh, you are basically not available for the next couple of months.
For the next 2 months, you'll be wrestling every Saturday.
Yes.
And then, you went to a few of our boys this last year, and you remember how loud the gym is?
Mm-hmm.
Like, now running is my thing, that after a loud birthday party or a loud, I'm just like, I just need to get away and I need to run. So it will be wrestling matches in the morning and then running for a little bit in the afternoon to unwind.
Yes.
That's my plan. So, well, let's jump into this week's episode. In our intro episode, we kind of talked about our why behind running, different motivation, those sorts of things. We are going to talk about this week our first race that we ran together, because I thought that would be fitting because it's our first podcast episode.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, let's get into it.
All right.
This is Run in Her Shoes podcast with Amber
And Robyn.
where we talk about balancing life, work, and running.
As busy moms juggling life, we want to provide a community where we encourage taking time for your mental and physical health on your running journey.
Join us weekly as we talk about our favorite races, gear, and goals as amateur runners, 1 mile at a time.
So I'm not from Salida or Colorado or anything, so FibArc's been kind of a new thing for me. You guys moved here
I was 5, so early 90s.
early 90s, and FibArc's been going on since 1929, and it stands for First in Boating on the Arkansas River.
Yes.
It's a huge, it's just a week. Is it just a weekend? It feels so much longer.
It feels longer. It's a whirlwind for sure.
But,
it's like a Thursday through a Sunday, but things really seem to kick off on that Friday.
Yeah.
And it's all over Father's Day weekend.
Father's Day weekend. Big emphasis on any river activities. So like kayaking, the hooligan race is like the big highlight. You make a boat or a raft, but it can't be made out of a boat or a raft. So it has to be like found materials.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy. You're thinking there's no way that thing is going to float.
Yeah. And basically the point is just get from point A to point B in one piece.
Yes. And second place wins. Did you know that?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Second place is the winner. You don't want to be first in the hooligan.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe we should have a hooligan 5K.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I still wouldn't win, but I would be that much closer. But yeah, mostly focused on the river events. I know they've added like some fly fishing events. I don't know if they did it last year, but they've had some different things. And then there's usually like music. They bring in lots of like food trucks. And then usually there's the carnival. There was a hiccup this year. It sounded like a lot of people kind of banded together and kind of made like a fun kid zone area for the kids. So that's always fun too.
Yeah. They shut down our entire downtown, which is not that big, but they shut it down, and it's just a lot of pedestrian, a lot of
for a
traffic.
Small neighborhood. It's a lot when you shut it down.
Yeah, I think our population, I don't know how much it increases. I don't know if I would say double, but it brings a lot of extra people to the area.
Definitely.
So yeah, they definitely cater to the whitewater festivities, but they do have some other things for us non-water people. Although, do you remember our whitewater rafting adventure?
Yes, I do remember.
It was kind of like last minute that we decided to go do that.
Yeah.
We were sitting at a park one day. We're like, what should we do? This is before we had kids. Like,
yes.
I know.
The boys were off doing their own thing.
Yeah.
We were left to do our thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was just kind of like, what do we do?
Like, well, it was already in the afternoon. And I was like, I know. Because I used to work at a whitewater rafting company in high school. I did not whitewater raft, though. I just talked on the phone and told people about the trips that I had not been on.
Yeah,
to be
it's
honest.
amazing.
It's amazing. You're going to want to do this. It is not scary at all. And the company that I worked for, I knew that they had 3 o'clock on, so we would be able to make it, even though it was later on in the day. So yeah we rafted Browns Canyon, the 3 p.m. It was cold, not too scary.
No, I remember it was a while ago, so I remember. No, I really liked it.
Yeah.
We had like a good raft of people because it was just us 2, so we got put with like a family.
Yes.
And I remember them being on like okay, and
nice.
yeah,
that was one of our first adventures.
Yes.
Together. We will post a picture of us in our cute little helmets. Yeah, so we are not participating in FIBARC whitewater activities, that's for sure.
No.
But we did do a 5K that they offer.
Yes. So the other events for running specifically, because even though Slide is on the river, people are obsessed with the river and anything they can do, whether it's like rafting, the stand-up paddleboarding is like a thing now, and then all the fishing. But there is a good running community here. Yeah, so usually whenever there's some sort of event or whatever, usually there's like a race with it. So the big one that gets a lot of the attention during FIBARC is the Tenderfoot Hill Climb. Yeah. And so that's straight up this mountain hill. It's called S Mountain.
It's not a 14,000 foot mountain by any means.
So there is a spiral drive, but this goes straight up.
And I was watching a video of the hill climb from last year. I mean, this is crazy. I get going up, but the downhill, people are sliding down on their butts, and it's a race to see, obviously, who can get up and back the fastest. So some of these hardcore people, I think the record was like, I don't know, 14 or 15 minutes or something like that. Crazy. Up and back. It's insane. And
I'm always surprised every year it's like a young person who wins, which makes sense.
Yeah, because their knees are not going to give out on them.
Yeah, exactly. But it always seems like a high schooler or a young person wins.
Yeah.
But
I that is not on my wish list. No. I'm good being an observer on that one.
Yeah, definitely. So then in addition to that, there's several road races, which is the one we did the 5K, because that was very early on in our running. Your first 5K.
First 5K ever, FIBARC 5K.
My second official. And then they do a 10K trail run, and then just like a kid's fun run.
Yeah. And I mean, it was really neat. Like, that was my very first experience showing up to a race. I had totally just piggybacked on you. You said you were going to do it. And I was like, me too. I'm going to do that too. And I just showed up.
Well, and you might have had plans, right? Like, you weren't even sure if you were available that day.
Well, because what was the actual date? I can't remember. That's John and I got married that weekend.
Right.
Not
well, it's
that
combination
weekend,
Father's Day, your like
Day.
Anniversary weekend.
There's so much going on.
So there was like, maybe I have plans, maybe I won't. And then was it that morning or the night before that you were like, I'm coming, I'm registering there?
It was the night before. I was like, hey, honey, I know it's our anniversary, but can you go run with Robyn? Yeah? Okay. I was like, it's not going to take that long. It'll be fine. It'll just be a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So I totally
just our run and our meals afterwards and coffee, but it'll be fine.
This is the start of a very long new favorite thing. So I hope you're okay with it. But yeah, that's what happened. So I remember too showing up because it was my first 5K. I'm like, I don't know what to expect, but apparently you register, right? Like you get your bib. I'm putting my bib on my shirt, and I didn't know either that this wasn't, that it was. It had a time card on it. It was timed. And you could sign up, and your loved ones could sign up to see where you were at. But I didn't know that until the morning of, so I did not tell John to track me. Oh. But I didn't know that was
I just figured I'm in town.
Yeah. You would just see me
like if it's an option for bigger races in the future, I think those are helpful. But like, hopefully you don't need to track me on a 5K. I know I'm not fast, but like...
Well, it was a cool feature. I didn't know that was a thing. That's cool. So it was neat that was an option. So yeah, I'm like, what is this thing? You know? Anyways, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. But I don't know what the course, this was a new course this year. I don't know what it was in years before, but it was on a mostly road or mostly all paved, road. Yeah, all paved, maybe some dirt, but all paved road basically. A couple of water stations along the way. Just my preference for any runs, a little bit more open than I would. I like some shade. Yeah. I like some, you know. It was
pretty warm.
Yeah. So it was nice that it warmed up. I felt like it was kind of chilly first thing in the morning. And so like even not really knowing like what to wear was kind of like, oh, how do I dress for this thing?
Right. Yeah. What do I do?
Yeah.
And then towards the end, because then the community was kind of lined up and cheering all the runners on towards the end, somebody had their sprinklers on.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think I'm hot enough to run through the sprinklers now towards the end. I don't know. So I did a little bit. Did you run through the sprinklers?
I think I got like half my body, but I really want to be like, whew, I mean, that's just me working. Yeah, like I didn't run through the sprinkler actually, but yeah, no.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
And we finished.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was good. And yeah, I think because we have such a great running community, there's always like, you never are running through by yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like people are always there.
Yes.
To
guide you. Because that was my fear, is like, I'm going to be the last one in the pack and not know where to go. But that was not a thing. So if you've never ran a 5K before, so far, all the ones that I've done, they've all been very well marked. There's people at checkpoints, like at every turn that you could possibly make so that you know where you're going. So that was a legitimate fear of mine. And one of the reasons I wasn't gung-ho initially on signing up for the race right away, because I just didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But it wasn't scary.
Yeah. And I am also someone who, like, I legit get that, because I could look at directions, because they always send you the directions, but it's like, then you'll take a left on like Sackett and left on this, and in my brain I'm like, I don't know where those places are.
I know.
First you need to tell me where these things, like I need landmarks, like you're gonna go around this cemetery, you're gonna go by the golf course. That types of things. Don't tell me road names,
and don't tell me west. Don't tell me north.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So just tell me we're going around the golf course.
Yeah, just tell me there'll be somebody there with a flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm comfortable with that. And so far we've been okay.
Yeah. Okay. We got lost.
Yeah. So we finished our race. And yes, I can't remember if that specific day was our anniversary, but it was our anniversary weekend. But nonetheless, like it was a very much like high five moment. We did it. We finished. What should we do now?
What should we do?
We're like, well, coffee.
Duh.
And like we said, all of our downtown was completely shut down from traffic. So we could just walk very easily to the coffee shop.
Yep. It was just a little walk. So we just walked it, which was nice after the run. Instead of jumping in the car and driving down, it's nice to like keep moving.
Yes.
So
yeah. And kind of unwind from the adrenaline too, which was nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went to Brown Dog Coffee, which is a very popular coffee shop here. We said before, we really like dogs, and we also really like coffee.
There
coffee,
you go.
running, dogs.
There you go.
I don't know in what order. It depends on the day.
Yeah, definitely.
But we got a coffee. We sat outside.
Yeah, weather was still pretty nice, so got to enjoy that a little bit.
Yeah. And then we were like, okay, we better go back to our husbands for the day. It's Father's Day. You know, gotta go prepare for them.
Yeah.
But this was so funny. We were talking about this a little bit ago, and I completely forgot about how our time ended because I was just blissful sitting outside at this table. It was this cute little 2-chair table set up outside. Like I had to take my selfie to say I ran the race, you know, all of that. Like it was just so, it was a runner's high for sure.
Yeah.
And I just remembered the sunshine and how I felt. And then you reminded me how it actually ended.
Walking back was like, it wasn't like right around the corner. It was a good little walk.
Yeah.
You know, like a 10 to 15 minute walk,
yeah.
whatever it was. And First, it starts getting a little drizzly, and
Yeah.
you're just kind of like, oh, okay, and we're going along, we're okay. Then it starts to pick up a little more, and then next thing I know, this one is like, bye, I'm parked over here. See you later.
I was parked a little bit closer than you, and I was like, it was a downpour. Yeah, I was like, this was fun. Love you, bye. I'm going to my Jeep.
And as she's running away, bye.
I did. And then I got in my Jeep, and I mean, it was a downpour. And then
did you drive by me
while
I was still walking?
I drove by you. You weren't to your Jeep yet, but I waved. I'm like, okay, she's gonna make it. I'm gonna go home and dry off now. Sorry about that. I did block that out. Apparently you did not. So sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, so on that fact though, I'm making more conscious decisions, I guess, about how I fuel my body before, after runs, that sort of a thing. But I do feel like I need coffee in the morning before I'm able to process my thoughts.
Yeah.
So do you drink coffee before your runs or after, or it doesn't matter what you do?
So it doesn't matter in the sense that I don't feel that caffeine intake. Okay. To me, it's just coffee is just coffee. Okay. It's more of the ritual in the morning. Okay. So I do my coffee in the morning as just my ritual.
Okay. You would be okay to drink a cup of coffee and then go run. You wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, for the most part, I'm okay with that too. Mm-hmm. We'll see. I don't, you've got some morning business that you might need to take care of. So, that just happens. But a coffee afterwards is always a must for me. Unless it's a hot evening run and then I'm getting back and it's 90 degrees outside and I wouldn't run in 90 degree weather anyways, but still I'm not drinking hot coffee when it's that hot out.
Yeah. So. I may enjoy coffee any time of the day, no matter what we're doing type of person. Yes. So before I run, after I run, it's all good.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. Well, this episode is also always about first. So I was just thinking as we're kind of reflecting back to our first run, first sort of a thing, and beginning our running journey, is there anything that you would have done differently or changed at the start of your running journey, looking back, or are you happy with how your running journey developed?
I think one, going in with a lot of grace for yourself. I started out being okay, I'm the type of person when I'm okay, running, I'm going to take this on. This is all consuming now. Mm-hmm. And this is my life now, and I'm going to jump all in. And so I want to say either it was close to a month or, it was a long time where I was running every single day. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember what caused me to miss a day or what it was, if I was sick or if there was just busy life.
Yeah.
But I was really hard on myself for missing that day. And it just had to be first of all, it's healthy to take those breaks.
Yeah.
Your body needs it. You are a better runner when you take those breaks and you give yourself rest days and all that fun stuff. But that was really hard to wrap my brain around.
Yeah. Because in the beginning, it is kind of all consuming. You're right. And it is such a fast obsession for a lot of people. I know mm-hmm. It was that way for me too. And I felt like I could not call myself a runner, if that makes sense, if I wasn't running every day.
Yeah.
And then my 30-something-year-old body was you must take breaks or you will not be a consistent runner.
Yeah.
I definitely did the same thing. I also learned about myself that I'm very competitive with myself. Running, it doesn't have to be a competitive sport. It's just something you can do for fun. But in my mind, especially when I started, I was oh, your first mile was 10 minutes. Can you do it in 9.5 now? Or, oh, you just ran for 30. Could you run for 40 minutes? Mm-hmm. And what is that distance? And I kept kind of playing that game with myself in the beginning to always be better than the time before without taking into account like life is busy. I didn't get as much sleep the night before. I am recovering from a cold, whatever that was. I didn't, like you said, I didn't give myself any grace, and I just thought that each run had to be better than the last. And I had some injuries because of it. I had to stop running for a few weeks at a time because of how bad my injuries were. And that was more annoying than had I just taken like a couple days off a week and it was okay. So I love that idea. Give yourself grace.
Yes.
Also, when you started running, then was there anything that you got where you were like, wow, how did I ever run without this? And I'm so happy I have that now.
I think a good, if you don't already have a fitness watch,
oh yes,
you know, something I like being able to like start it all from my wrist.
Yes. And you're a Garmin girl.
Yes.
And I'm an Apple Pod lady.
So I love my Garmin. I'm looking at upgrading, but sticking with Garmin. But I think my watch was one of my better like investments to start out, because even if you're because I can't speak to your Apple, but at least with Garmin, being able to set it for intervals. So if you're starting out and you're like, I just want to run for half a mile straight and then give myself a 10, 15, whatever time break, you can set that all on your watch. And so I don't have to be fiddling with my phone. It's all being like talked to me through my watch. So
yeah, that is a really good investment. I've been eyeballing your Garmin, but I'm not sure I can give up my Apple Watch. Good point. And I use mine too to like look back and see like what my heart rate was and what zone was I in for how long and like what are the trends. I'm a nurse who loves watching trends and tracking those sorts of things. So absolutely having a watch is like, it's probably a must.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, going back into like whatever app you're using to be able to see like, well, either all my past runs or I can, you know, it like congratulates me when I get like over 7 hours of sleep, and it's like, oh, you know, like
good job, me.
Yeah. So I think having all that information too, like in one place, and I'm not having to like either write it down or whatever. Like it's all automatic.
I love that. Well, I think, gosh, now that you say that, my must-have was not as cool as that, but in the summer, especially, like I just feel like I ran way more in the summer and fall than I have this winter, but deciding what I was going to wear, a lot of either my leggings or shorts didn't have pockets, and I could probably run without music if I had to. But I love running with my headphones. I love running with my music, which is connected to my phone. And if I don't have pockets, I don't want to run with a phone in my hand because then my hand starts to cramp. So, and then I didn't want to have to wear leggings when it was hot that had pockets. So I discovered Koala Clip, and it's just this great little pocket that you can put your phone in. And like when we were running a few 5Ks, I would have it before I got a vest or anything. I could tuck my keys in.
I remember being like, do you want me to put your keys like in my vest? And you were like, no, girl.
Yeah, I've got my Koala Clip.
Yeah.
It was perfect. So even now I just use it, especially for just quicker runs when I don't need to have water on me or anything. And I just use my Koala Clip, and it clips on the back of my either bra or shirt, whatever I'm wearing, and it stays put, and it keeps my phone from getting really sweaty or anything like that. And if I need to take it out to take a picture of the mountains or whatever, I can very quickly get my phone out for that picture and put it right back. So that is my must-have, and I still use it all the time.
Yeah.
We've come a long ways since our first Bark 5K.
Yes.
Which is our awesome attire here that we're wearing, our Bark 5K shirts. Which I sleep in mine all the time. It is so soft.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That we've gotten.
I probably have like a top 3 of my race shirts, and this is in the top.
Yeah,
I agree. But we have big goals moving forward, and it's a little scary to say it out loud, but it's happening. Like we've committed. You have signed up. It is happening.
They've taken my money.
You have taken my money.
Committed.
So our next big goal.
Yes.
Half marathon.
I feel like I swindled you into this.
Oh, you did. I would not have signed up for one on my own. But again, I wouldn't have done a 5K on my own without you. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Good.
I hold no grudges. I'm thankful.
Afterwards, though, you're going to be like...
Well, you better take me and get a coffee afterwards,
Yes,
and I'll be
okay.
fine again.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah. So tell us about how you found this race and what we're doing.
Yeah. So, well, even my motivation, even looking into races, was I was at our local running store, and actually Jesse, you can blame your brother, my husband, our local running store has a board of like local races, like everything from like 5Ks to like running groups to marathons to ultras to all the stuff. And he pointed out a race in Moab, and I've never been there. He was like, you can run, like I'll go jeeping. And he was just so like, this should happen, that I was just like, okay.
I like how he sweetened the deal. Like, let's go on a vacation to Moab and you can run.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, I'm there.
Yeah. Huh? Okay. And so I get home, get online, just start like searching halves in the Moab, Utah area. And this one caught my eye because I'm older. So Thelma and Louise just caught my eye. It's a female driven run. And so I loved it. And I just remember texting you or screenshotting it, texting or something, and being like, I'm doing this. Are you coming?
I said, yes. Count me in.
Yes. Can I stay with you?
Yeah, I did say that. Thanks for letting me.
And I was like, yes.
So
Jesse, your sister's staying with us.
I mean, he loves me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's coming up. It's at the end of April.
Mm-hmm.
I have not ran that far before in my life, but training towards it. The weather is slowly getting a little bit better, that it's like allowing me to get out a little bit more. But like if you tell me or ask me, how are you feeling about this right now? Like scared. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like nervous, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I'm to pull it off.
Prepared to die. Only because I feel so unprepared because of the weather and whatnot.
Yeah. It was hard to run. And I'm not a treadmill girl.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But we can walk some if we need to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah. It'll be fine. And you said you have heard that they have Brad Pitt lookalikes.
At least in past races, there have been, yes, a Brad Pitt lookalike.
So that'll get the adrenaline going and be able to fuel you to your next mile. Perhaps.
Yes, hopefully.
Brad Pitt in which era? Current day or 80s, 90s Brad Pitt? Do we know?
I don't know, but my preference would be current.
Yes. Silver Fox Brad Pitt.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean,
we'll
multiples. See. Bring it on.
Okay, we'll report back. Which mile did Robyn run the fastest based on the Brad Pitt era lookalike?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Also, this Thelma and Louise half marathon, it's female only.
Yeah.
And
which is cool.
Super cool. I mean, the past few races that I've done, there have been so many high school boys and they're just like gone back across the finish line. And I'm like still working on my first mile.
Especially when it's like an out and back and you're just like, oh my, I bet I'm this far. You're feeling good. And then you just see these young kids barely breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
Look like they can breathe just fine in this high altitude.
And they have finished their race.
Yes.
So at least this one, there might be high school girl. And if you're a high school girl, man, great for you. But that's just not where we're at. Yes. But it is going to be all females racing this. Mm-hmm. Capped at 500 runners. So it's still going to be a decent size. Was 500 for the entire event because they also have a marathon, what was it? 15K and a half marathon. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it was for all three events combined or.
And I don't know specifically either, but I feel like they're buying 500 bananas
at least. Yes.
So
there will be a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, all Thelma and Louise themed. We had got to pick a name to put on our bib.
Yes.
I figured we should be opposites.
Yes. And I'm thankful you let me pick first. So I did pick Thelma because she does get to hook up with Brad Pitt.
Okay. Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
With that. I am so happy for
Louise
you.
is a badass.
Okay.
So
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yes.
Yeah. So we will for sure.
It's her car. They take this road trip
Well,
in.
of
So
course.
it wouldn't happen without Louise's car.
Should I tell Jesse I'm driving? Be like, why are we taking your Jeep? Because I am Louise.
Yes.
He wouldn't let me drive. Oh, that's so funny. Well, I looked up a few facts because I know we said like looking up the races and the map, it might not mean a whole lot to us, but I still wanted to know like what idea we're going to have. But the environment that it's going to be in looks really cool. I've never ran any races outside of Colorado, so I'm looking forward to like the different landscape that it's going to have to offer. It said that the area it had been used for religious ceremonies for the ancestral Pueblo people, and they would worship their mother deity in that area.
It's cool.
So it might have like a really fun spiritual vibe to it, you know? So we'll see. It's going to go around the Rocks Wilderness area and around the La Salle Mountains. So it's just going to be a really pretty course too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. I looked up some quotes that I thought would maybe be fitting.
Yeah.
From the movie. But I'm going to drop a truth bomb here. I still need to watch the movie. I've never seen it. Like, I know they're two badass women and like a car goes off the cliff and that Brad Pitt is in the movie. Like, that's the synopsis. So for me to fully appreciate this experience, I vow to watch the Thelma and Louise movie before we run our race.
Good.
But in the meantime, these quotes, I can see how it would be applicable.
Yeah.
So the first one, Thelma says, Louise, no matter what happens, I'm glad I came with you. Oh, and that's how I feel about all of our races together. And then the next one, you want to read the next one?
Thelma says, I feel really awake. I don't recall ever feeling this awake. You know, everything just looks different now. You know, you feel like that. You feel like you got something to live for.
Yeah, that's how we'll feel when we're running.
Hopefully.
Like, I'll cross the finish line. I'll feel like I'm dead.
Yes.
I'm dead. I'm alive.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I'm alive.
I'm so dead I'm alive.
So dead I'm alive. I can't wait for that feeling.
Yes.
And then throughout this whole race, what's our elevation here? Like, we're at least over 8,000 where we are currently at, right? I think we're around 8,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it? I might see it on your shirt somewhere. I don't know. Anyways, where we're going to be running is a lower elevation. So I am hoping that will give us maybe like a little bit of an edge. We've been training at a higher elevation. We'll see. But yeah, the highest point is going to be 5,727 feet. And the elevation gain, though, is 1,178. So, like, we're not messing around here. There's obviously going to be some hills.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that. And then the decline is 1,214. So it's going to be hilly, but we can do that. Another part, though, about these races is I'm always curious who puts these races on. Where do our race fees go? What are we running for? Is there a cause? I know we've ran for a few different races where like our money goes towards an excellent cause. You had mentioned in our intro episode about running for the Ark Valley Humane Society and supporting, you know, dogs and cats that need homes. I mean, I'm not going to bring up those bad memories of the very steep race. But.
Yeah, which also was, it was like I forget what the elevation gain was, but you're like, oh my, like, where are we going? But it's like, because you're going up this hill. But also, that's the day during my run that Ranger ate all my makeup.
That's right.
Yes. So Ranger, my German short-haired pointer, I was at the start line and I remember getting this like text in from Jesse, from my husband, with like a photo. And I'm like, I mean, I'm about to start this race. I have no like, I can't look at this right now.
Right.
I get done, come down, look at this photo. He's taking a picture of him. He's got makeup all over his face.
Oh, no.
And I just remember thinking, like, I was running for you. Like, well, you betrayed me like this.
Like, I promise I won't take you to the Humane Society now. Yeah. However, this is your final warning.
Yes.
Do not eat my makeup again. Oh,
yeah.
I forgot he did that.
I know.
Well, still a good cause to run for.
Yeah,
we can look at maybe doing that one again this year if we want to go up S Mountain.
Yeah, but I think knowing that's the route, I think is different than like...
Yes. Surprise!
Yeah.
Well, this race, it's put on by Mad Moose, and they have a lot of different races in like the southern Colorado, Utah area. It's not just in the Utah region. I saw they do have some areas in Colorado that they put these races on for, but it's a family-owned corporation or, you know, like company that puts on these races, and they really support their community, and their whole reason for doing these is they just really want to support runners of all capabilities, like whether they're professional runners or moms like us just trying to get out. So I think knowing the story behind that is really cool. They make sure that they do safety sweeps, which I was very glad to hear that, because I'm like, what happens if I get left out in the mountains and nobody knows that I'm there? So I know that they're gonna have a safety sweep. And then they support a lot of local businesses, and they give back to the community for sure. They give their volunteers free race entries, and they also support a lot of youth programs as well. They give running shoes towards youth programs and different gear like that, and they donate towards scholarships, and then they also support towards families of the murdered and missing Indigenous women and children. So that's a really good cause to be running for, I think.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so that's a little bit about the race that we're going to be doing so soon. So I got to know, when you cross that finish line, what are you looking forward to eating? What are you going to do? Like, because my mind's always on food after I finish a race.
I know. I just want to find that, like, great local spots. Because I'm sure we'll cover it, but, like, the race we did in Canyon.
Yes.
I'm, like, so about, like, the race itself. But for me, the day was, like, that burger was on point.
It was so satisfying.
Peach milkshake.
Yes.
Was amazing. So I definitely want to find, like, the local, you know, spots. And I am always, and especially probably after a run, just in the mood for, like, that juicy, loaded burger.
Yes.
With, I like my Coke. I don't know why, if it's, like, the sparkling, you know, the bubbliness after trying to stay hydrated. Yeah. Lots of water on the run. So I like that sweet bubbles.
Yeah. That sounds so good to me, too. I'm always a sucker for a good burger. And initially, though, like, as soon as I cross the finish line, like, we know there's going to be bananas there. Like, I will eat the banana afterwards. I'm sure my body will be like, give me a banana so I don't cramp up. Right. All right, well, now let's talk about a listener story. I know this is our first episode, so technically at the time of recording this, we haven't had any real listeners, but we have been planning this for a while. Yes. So I reached out to a fellow mama runner that has a really fun story about her running journey, starting kind of at a young age and where she is now. So I wanted to share hers as we kind of wrap up this episode. So this is Angie's story. Angie is from Illinois, and she said that she's been running since 7th grade. She actually had a friend that asked her if she wanted to join cross country in middle school, and Angie kept up with it through middle school and high school, even though her friend ended up dropping out. So way to stay dedicated to that one. Like, what she likes most about those races is being able to be alone with her thoughts and just finding it very therapeutic, which I completely agree.
Yes.
Completely agree. So after high school, she said she still kind of ran for fun, got in some different exercise days like that, And she is a rock star. She's completed a few half marathons, a couple full marathons. She said she's not a fast runner by any means, but just enjoys the whole process of running. Her goal was to do a half marathon in Hawaii when she turned 40, but life had other plans. She met her husband and started a family, so they were able to do a few like fun runs together as a family, but she hasn't been able to get back to Hawaii yet to do that marathon. But Angie, whenever you want to go to Hawaii
Yes.
for a marathon, call us. We'll call it a girls' weekend and enjoy running on the beach. So she definitely still wants to complete that marathon in Hawaii coming up. In the meantime, though, she says she just runs for leisure now. She's trying to make sure that she takes care of her body as we get older. Running is definitely a little bit tougher on our body, you know, knees, hips, all of that. So she struggled with a little bit of that too, but she's been doing weightlifting and like strengthening her body as she gets back into running, which is really good. And just being that good role model for her kids while she's running. And she says that she still wants to do different races, but so far, like looking back, her favorite ones that she's done has been the Rock and Roll Marathon series. She has completed them in Nashville, San Diego, Phoenix, and Chicago. I think that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I love to wear headphones while I run. And I feel like I wouldn't have to wear them if I was in a rock and roll marathon, because you just have music going the whole time you're running.
That sounds good.
Yeah. She said Nashville's her favorite.
I mean, that sounds
amazing.
amazing. Because you get like good music on your run and then like go enjoy good music.
Yes. Yeah. We need to figure that one out.
Yes.
That sounds awesome. So for now, she's just doing some neighborhood runs, hanging out with her kids, and even a virtual run every now and then. So she's just really excited to hear other runner stories too as we kick this off. And I loved hearing your story, Angie, about how you started at such a young age and that you're still keeping it up and incorporating that into your family life now. So thanks for sharing, Angie. Yeah, that was a good one. So if you would like to have your running story featured on our podcast, we would love to hear from you. You can email that to us at runinherShoes@runsister.com, and we'll go through them when we get them and hopefully be able to feature your story on our podcast. So be sure to like, rate, share this podcast with other women that you know that'll be starting their running journey or just looking for some motivation to keep going, because Lord knows we can all use
or
that.
Or just want to hear two people ramble about whatever.
Yeah, we've got that down. We've got that. So I guess until next time, we'll see you later.
See you later.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Run in Her Shoes. Run in Her Shoes podcast is produced and edited by Amber Linza and Robyn Ogden. It's time to run, sister.